And the starting lineups for the visiting Cowgirls. Number 2, Selena Naranjo, the senior, getting the start here tonight. Number 3, Miranda Romero. Number 4, Stacy Johnson. Number 6, Cameron Nelson. Number 11, Taylor Ferrari. Number 18, Keegan Lopez. And number 19, Bailey Willis. And Bailey Willis is the player to watch, or excuse me, Keegan Lopez is the player to watch for the Cowgirls. She comes in leading her team with 171 points so far in this season. And your starters now for Dixie State. Number 1, Jordan Nelson, the setter. An awesome year for her so far. Number 6, Lauren Gamble. Number 8, Syd Johnson getting the start here tonight. She's had a very nice season so far. Number 10, the freshman, number 9, Miranda Ekblad. Number 10, the libero, who's just a freshman, is Mckenna Nelson, and she herself has had a really, really good night. One of 2 All-Americans on this squad. Number 13, Meg Trainer, also getting the start tonight. And final starter for Dixie State is number 19, Toa Faleo, and they are head coached by head coach Robin Felder, who is in her 8th season with Dixie State. And as for the Cowgirls, they are coached by head coach Carly Salazar, who is in her 1st season as head coach for the Cowgirls. Just moments away here before the start of this series tonight in Dixie State. They can't come in with their heads too high, because no matter what level, no matter what the stage is, there are always upsets everywhere, and they cannot come in with their head too high in this one. Otherwise, this one could get away from them just as easily if it was someone who was in the top of the conference. And for Dixie State, they got to keep that in the back of their mind. They just have to keep playing their game and keep doing what they do. And so far, that's been spreading the ball around and getting it between one another. And for New Mexico Highlands, I would have to say that the key to their game is to just not let Dixie State control them. Just do their own thing, do the small things that makes, a little success here and there. I mean, they only do have 1 win on the year, which did come in 5 sets earlier in the season. But it's a young team, and with a new coaching staff, it's never easy to have success when everything is new. I mean, last year they finished 9-17, so a little bit of drop-off there. And, maybe they can come up with a little bit of a Cinderella in trying to ruin some of these top dogs in the conference. And they only have 3 games after tonight as well, against Westminster, Fort Lewis, Adams State, and Colorado State Pueblo. All teams are in the hunt for the RMAC tournament right now. So for the Cowgirls, maybe some spoiling going on here late in the season. And to start things off for the Cowgirls is Selena Naranjo. And Dixie State right out of the gates. Toa Faleo comes in strong. So Dixie State on the board first. And here's Faleo again. And dangerous chance right here, and Gamble picks it up. It almost looked like it was going to be a serving ace there for just a second. And the Cowgirls were able to keep it alive, but Gamble was right there to pick up the dig. And Faleo again. And this was going to finish with Willis off the net. Diving effort. And it's going to finish with Nelson, and it is blocked at the net. Gamble and Trainer were there to make the stop, and it's 3-0 here early. As we take another look there, and just no chance to try and get over the 6'2" All-American and Gamble, and that serve is short from Faleo. So the Cowgirls with their first point here in the first set. And Cameron Nelson now to serve for the Cowgirls. A strong serve. And quick attack from Gamble, and somehow she hits it. I guess it must have came back and hit her in the head and went over the net. We'll take another look at it right here. And it's going for that quick attack, and it did. Kind of just bounced off her head, and just a lucky play. And Nelson's right there to pick it up, and it hits the ceiling and falls to the ground. Not much you can do about that, as that one just threw everybody off. That one just had too much power behind it. And the Cowgirls on the board again. And going to be backdoor to Trainer, and Trainer fires that one in there. And Trainer now at the helm. And going to be a serving ace for Trainer, as that one was just not collected well enough. The Swiss Army knife Meg Trainer can do it all. And back-to-back serving aces for Trainer, as that one was tipped. And it looked like that was off the hands of Nelson. And Trainer again. And not served too far this time. And good awareness from the Cowgirls to get another one on board. And subs. So Leila Gandara now for the Cowgirls. And it's going to finish with Johnson off the net. And Johnson is going to come through for the Trailblazers. Good setup right there. As the set was initially off the ball a little bit, but good recovery there. And dangerous chance here, as that one was short of the net. And Trainer was the closest one to it. Didn't know if it was going to go over the net or not. The Cowgirls were ready for it. Johnson for the Cowgirls was right there. So 8-4 here. Here's Lopez. And backdoor to Collins, and Collins is going to fire that one in there. That was hit right in the direction of Lopez, and Lopez just a little too late on it. So here's Miranda Ekblad now. As that serve had some spin on that one. And it's going to finish with Collins, and Collins rainbowing that one up there. And Collins comes through for Dixie State, and didn't think that one was going to find the ground, but somehow manages to popcorn off of a couple of the Cowgirls. And it's 10-4 here now. And big swing, but that is blocked. And the Twin Towers there once again, Faleo and Gamble. And that is just a height mismatch nightmare, as Lopez was, I believe, the one who was getting the hand on it, standing at 5'4", going up against 6'1" and 6'2". And timeout for Coach Salazar here early in the first set. Dixie State up 11-4 here, and coasting so far, but still can't get ahead of themselves. You never know what can happen, especially on the collegiate level. And just a lot of mistakes early from the Cowgirls. And just a lot of balls that were going by them, just being a tad too late. And Dixie State just doing everything right here so far. And no mental mistakes for them. Their hitting percentage right now is through the roof, hitting an 88% rate. That is unheard of. You have 7 kills and 8 attacks. So here's Ekblad. And that one is going to come off the hands of Nelson, and Nelson's going to come through for the Cowgirls, and it looked like Collins was there, but didn't get the right spacing on as that one fell to the ground. Romero now. And it's going to find Faleo, left hand. Another chance here for the Trailblazers. Gamble! No power needed as she was right there in the middle and found the space in the defense. And it was coming all the way, and you see how open the middle of that floor was, and Gamble took advantage of it. And quick attack, and Mckenna Nelson taking some notes from her sister, and the Cowgirls on board again as that one snuck inside the line. It looked like it was Nelson again. Ronho now. Short serve, but setting up Faleo. And quick attack here, but no dice as the timing was off on that one. So another error for the Cowgirls, and Dixie State gets a point as they were looking for Ferrari that time. So 13-6 here. And that one's going to fall, and that's Nelson once again. And Nelson has been getting her number called a lot as Gamble was the one who got the hand on it. And she was the only one that time who was there for the wall. Johnson was there, but right off of Gamble's left hand. And quick attack and popping it up is Johnson. So another chance here for the Cowgirls. And that hit out of play. It looks like that was off the hands of Lopez, the leading scorer for the Cowgirls. And just got too much air underneath that one. Had the right idea, was going for that back corner. But 14-7 now. And Lopez again, and Lopez is going to sneak that one by the wall. So a short serve, Ekblad's right there. Switching it over to Johnson, and Johnson, my goodness, throws that one down. As Jordan Nelson with the perfect awareness to switch sides of attack there and finding a wide open Johnson. So Trainer with the low serve, and Trainer another serving ace, so 16-8 now. That one had a lot of pace behind it and just too much dip. Trainer again, same serve. And again is Willis. Willis and Lopez standing at 6'1". So they got the height to compete with Dixie State. And Lopez and Willis are the top two scorers for the Cowgirls, so we'll be calling their name a lot. And bending run from Ekblad. And Ekblad comes through as a reaching effort. I believe it was from Nelson. So 17-9 now, and here's Syd Johnson. And that serve is out. So a freebie for the Cowgirls, and Ferris checks in for Dixie State. So here's Lopez. And backdoor to Ekblad. Trainer racing over, is going to find Faleo, who just kind of tips it over. And the first good rally of the night. And Dixie State, golden chance right here. It's going to set up Faleo, and the Cowgirls respond yet again. And Nelson comes through, and the Cowgirls win that rally. Back and forth for a really long time. And Cameron Nelson finally coming through to end that one. Here's Lopez, short serve. And Ekblad, fingertips. Makes that one possible. It looks like the set was a little bit too high up, but that one right in front of the line. Well, here's Ekblad again. And that one is going to fall as Nelson again hit right towards the direction of Ekblad, and I don't think she was ready for it. So 18-12 here. And Romero, her serve is out of play. So a freebie for Dixie State. Now Jordan Nelson now. A dangerous chance here in Faleo. Makes it count as that one was just a lollipop. Coming back right at her, and Coach Salazar takes another timeout. We're going to take a 30-second break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're watching Trailblazer Volleyball.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Welcome back inside the Student Activity Center, 20-12. The score, Dixie State on top of the Cowgirls of New Mexico Highlands here in the first set on a Friday night. And the day after Halloween, it's already November. Pretty soon we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving here in a couple of weeks, and then bam, it's Christmas, and then bam, it's a new year, 2020, right around the corner. I can't even believe it myself. So Jordan Nelson out of the timeout. And that one off the hands of, looks like Hernandez. And Hernandez's hit was short of the net. Nelson got some oomph behind that one. We don't see her shooting those serves long very often, as that one was a good dodge out of the way. I believe it was Brianna Lopez who was there in that back corner, just kind of matrixed her way out of that one to get a point for her squad. So here's Naranjo. And Nelson trying to improvise off the hit off the net, but no dice, so a serving ace for the Cowgirls. And a short serve from Lopez, so both teams exchanging points here, and it's 22-14 now. And here's Faleo now. And coming in fast is Nelson, and playing it off the net, and a good save from Dixie State. And again, that time it looked like it was Ferrari who came in hot and finding the inside of the line. Good setup right there, and Faleo just a step off from that one. Laser serve. And it's going to find Trainer. And Trainer. And Coach Felder does not believe it. Let's slow it down a little bit towards the line. And from that angle, can't really tell, but Coach Felder had a better eye than I did. She didn't like the call, but she's not too upset about it. And a serving ace for Nelson. All of a sudden, it's a 5-point game, 22-17. As Nelson, for the Cowgirls, has been the one to watch. And Trainer trying to just get that one right over the net, and Coach Felder is going to take a timeout up by 4. And the Cowgirls on a little bit of a run of themselves. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. When we come back, more action here inside the Student Activity Center.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look.
Some classic music from the, I guess you call it the scores table on a Friday night. 22-18 the score. Dixie State leads the Cowgirls. And they have came back and made this one interesting, as it is a second serving ace in a row. Or 2 out of 3, excuse me. And 22-19 is the score. And Hannah Waddell checks in for Faleo. And Nelson, her serve is a line drive and short of the net. So a freebie for Dixie State. So here's Mckenna Nelson. And big swing, but right there. And it's going to finish with Trainer. And Trainer off the ceiling. And it's going to fall. A lot of power behind that hit from Meg Trainer. And we are at set point here as we take another look. And it's just too much for Cameron Nelson, as that one came firing back down. And there's Lopez, and they're saying it was tipped at the line. So Keegan Lopez comes through, and here's Ferrari now. Nelson, is this for the kill? And Ekblad comes in and closes out the first set here inside the Student Activity Center. 25-20 is the score in Dixie State with a 1-0 lead so far in this series tonight. Perfect execution for that final attack, and Ekblad splits the two defenders. And we're going to take a 90-second timeout. When we come back, some stats and analysis from the first set. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Trailblazer Volleyball.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Si los amas como para reaprender ecuaciones, para poder enseñárselas, entonces los amas como para visitar nhtsa.gov/protegidos y comprobar que van correctamente abrochados en el asiento trasero del auto.
Welcome back inside the Student Activity Center, where you just saw Dixie State close out a rather tight set, 25-20 over the Cowgirls of New Mexico Highlands. And so far for Dixie State. The one getting all the work done is Meg Trainer with 6.5 points in that first set. And 6 assists as well. And for the Cowgirls, Cameron Nelson with 7 points, and 5 of those are kills to go along with 2 aces as well. She has been the star player for the Cowgirls so far and has made things interesting here inside the Student Activity Center. And Dixie State just trying to keep pace with the other top 2 teams in the RMAC, Regis and MSU Denver. Those 2 teams are playing as well right now. Regis going up against Black Hills State, and MSU Denver going up against Colorado Christian, who are also in the mix for the RMAC tournament as well. So just moments away here from starting the second set, and we kind of saw towards the end of the set Dixie State maybe taking the gas or foot off the gas pedal a little bit, as we saw the Cowgirls come within 3 at one point, where it looked like Dixie State was going to absolutely run away with it. The Cowgirls still showed some fight. As we are back and forth here to start off the second set, and Faleo, just like the first set, is the first one to give Dixie State the lead. And it's 1-0. Here's Jordan Nelson. And somehow manages to keep that one alive, and they're going to say no play, as that was Falea who ran all the way on the other side to try and somehow make that one a playable ball. So it's 1-1. And the scores table split apart just a little bit from Faleo, but ready to go. And that serve low. Jordan Nelson dives and keeps it alive, and Gamble had to spin around and try and keep that one. And another ace for Cameron Nelson. That one just nicked the net a little bit, and you see Gamble was trying to make a play on it somehow. And that serve well beyond the line. So things are now even again at 2 apiece. Toa Faleo now. And that one right through the hands of Syd Johnson. So here's Ferrari now. And short serve. But a golden chance as Faleo comes flying in from the back row and falls for a point. And that's something that we've been starting to see a little bit more this year, is Faleo getting those hits from the back row due to her how much power she brings to the table. We didn't see that a lot last year, but this year we've been seeing it a lot more, and it's been very, very effective. And quick attack, and that is Stacy Johnson. So for the first time tonight, the Cowgirls have the lead. And a dangerous chance here as that one goes into the scores table, and yet another ace for the Cowgirls, and this time it's going to come off from Gondara. So 5-3 here. And Johnson, her attack is short of the net, and all of a sudden the Cowgirls have doubled up on the Trailblazers. And Coach Felder just sitting down nicely over there. No sense of urgency for a timeout, and this time it's blocked, but it is out of play, and Trainer was the one to make that one happen. So Trainer now. It's going to find Lopez. And Faleo, too much power. So 7-4 here. They're trying to feed her from that back row again, and even then, it's just too much power. They're going to finish from Faleo again. The Cowgirls handled this one nicely, and Trailblazers able to keep it alive. And Faleo again. Outside from Nelson, and Nelson. Not a lot of oomph behind that one. I believe it looked like it was Ekblad and Oviatt who were the ones there. And backdoor to Johnson, and it's going to fall. Johnson. So here's Syd Johnson now. And that one is going to be off the hands of Maddie Gold, who gets her name called for the first time tonight and comes through as that one went right past that front wall. And a quick attack from Trainer. And Trainer's locked in. That quick attack that we see from Jordan Nelson so much. Trainer took a little bit of notes, and we know what's in her arsenal now. She can do everything. As that one is stuffed, but another chance here. And Faleo, big swing. And no chance there as that one was hit right towards Brianna Lopez. And Faleo, my goodness. What a treat it is to have her as that one went racing into the student section right in front of me. So Ekblad again. And Faleo went for placement this time. And tipped, so another chance here. Quick attack from Gamble, and Gamble is going to come through as that one was off the hands of Ferrari. It was a one-on-one matchup. And Gamble said, I got the height, I got this. So 8-9 here. And a setting error against the Cowgirls, and a tie game and a timeout for New Mexico Highlands. We're going to keep it here this time. And Dixie State, maybe not knowingly, but somewhat just slowing down, maybe stepping on the brakes a little bit, you know, not putting as much gas underneath it. And maybe it's because it's the day after Halloween, I don't know. But playing a little bit different than usual, and sometimes that happens when you go up against an opponent who you see on paper who isn't as strong, and then you kind of change your game a little bit, and you shouldn't do that. Just stick to the game plan, do what works, be successful, and I'm sure Coach Felder is just reminding them that, hey, we can't play lightly against these guys. I mean, they're still a Division II school. They still have the talent there. And so finally tying this one back up at 9 apiece. And out of the timeout, it's Ekblad. And the Cowgirls come through and Dixie State earlier in that rally may have paused for just a second as that hit looked like it may not even gone over the net, but play continued and Ekblad wasn't ready for it in the backcourt. So Trainer going to set up Faleo, left-handed hit and keeps it alive, and Ferris. And Stuff, but another chance here. And Gamble comes flying in and setting up Gamble right in the middle to make the play happen. And both teams had multiple chances to try and finish off that rally. But Dixie State finally coming through. And a serving ace for Nelson. And Dixie State regains the lead over the Cowgirls. Low serve and bam! Back-to-back aces for Jordan Nelson. And Jordan Nelson, such a reliable server. Rarely has any errors. And just popping that one over is Nelson. As she didn't want to go for the power. The Twin Towers are right there for Dixie State. She just kind of rainbowed that one over there. No one was there for the backup help. And swinging it all the way over is Trainer. And Ferris somehow keeps it alive off the ricochet. And Gamble is going to get the kill, and that one was hit right towards Nelson. She got a hand on it, and then nobody else was there to pick it up. So 13-11 now the score, and Faleo. Big swing, and it's going to come through. Keegan Lopez, who's just a sophomore now. And Faleo just a step out of reach from making a play on that. And here's Ferrari. Gamble right in the middle. It is so hard to defend that quick setup. We've seen it from opposing teams. And now Dixie State trying to add that to their arsenal of attacks as well. That's Syd Johnson there, who denied that one. And just a perfect timed play. Going to set up Lopez yet again, and Keegan Lopez showing Dixie State that, hey, we can attack from the middle as well. And Faleo was, again, just a step out of place. And it's going to finish with Johnson, and off the net and falls. And we've seen that a handful of times from Johnson now throughout the season, where she tries and completely flips the side of attack, going from far side to near side, almost vertically. And again, right in the middle. Stacy Johnson now for the Cowgirls. Just that quick attack, the wall just a little bit too late. Three of them were trying to make a play. And here's Romero. And he's going to finish with Johnson. Another chance here. Blocked again. And a quick attack. The Cowgirls are there. And here's Nelson. And a good rally here. And it's going to end off the hands of Ekblad. And Ekblad is loving it. After that back and forth rally, they just go for that easy setup right in the middle. And Ekblad finds that open space on the far corner. And stuffed at the net. Can we say it's Thanksgiving time yet? Can we say stuffed turkey? Because that's just what happened. And it looked like Faleo was the one to get a hand on. 18-14 your score. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Trailblazer Volleyball.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Coach Felder with some wise words. In her 8th season now with Dixie State, has done a tremendous job in making this program one of the top in the RMAC the last 2 years. And it'd be interesting to see how they play out in the WAC starting next year. And man, oh man, this team is just going in the right direction. You know, every year they seem to lose very important pieces, you know, with the experience and the seniority and all that. And they just come back with more every year. Coach Felder does a fine job in the recruiting category. And an ace right off the bat for Syd Johnson. And it's 19-14 now. So here's Johnson again. And back-to-back aces right at the same player, Romero. So 20-14, back-to-back aces now for Syd Johnson, and looking for a third. So a golden chance here, Faleo. Mckenna Nelson again. She has been the bright spot for the Cowgirls so far. And this team very young for the Cowgirls. Only 2 seniors on the roster, and here's one of them, Lopez. Set up Oviatt. Dangerous chance here, and that's Oviatt, who is right there to pick up the trash. So 21-15 now the score. And here's Ekblad. Another chance here for the Trailblazers. Gamble right in the middle again. Just reaches up for it. And it is no contest. Gamble coming into tonight as the 3rd leading scorer for the Trailblazers, who has started all but 1 game this year in her senior year campaign. And back and forth, and finally Dixie State manages to get that one down. And it was the Twin Towers there, Faleo and Gamble. So here's Ekblad. It's going to finish with Oviatt, and Oviatt nearly comes through. So Ferris sets it out. It's going to find Oviatt, and Oviatt comes through as Lopez was diving towards that one. And we are at game point now here in the 2nd set. So here's Ekblad again. Low serve. And blocked is Gamble. So another chance here. And short of the net is Keegan Lopez, and that is how the 2nd set is going to end, 25-15. And Dixie State taking away set 1 as well, 25-20. So now they're up 2-0. And with that final block, you might have heard it over the PA, but Lauren Gamble just recorded her 400th block of her career here at Dixie State. We'll be back in 2 minutes with some scores from around the league, or around the conference, and some stats and analysis as well. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Trailblazer Volleyball right here on CEC TV.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars.
Wow.
But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I groomed the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
And welcome back to Trailblazer Volleyball, currently having a 2-0 lead over the Cowgirls of New Mexico Highlands. I'm your play-by-play guy, James Guerin. Couldn't be possible without CEC TV, and we don't appreciate these guys enough for being at every single Trailblazer home game, no matter what sport it is. So from some scores from around the league, and of course, we're going to start off with a top dog in the conference. Regis and Black Hills State had a major upset. At least that's what it says on the website. It looks like it said Regis falls to Black Hills State 3-2. Not sure how accurate that is. That's just what the website says. And maybe it actually a real upset. But if that's the case, then Regis just made things a little bit easier for Dixie State. And Colorado Springs and MSU Denver, no score from them so far. And for Colorado Mesa, who is right behind Dixie State in the RMAC, who Dixie State just defeated last weekend in 4 sets, is just about to start their matchup between Fort Lewis. So from some stats from the first 2 sets for New Mexico Highlands, the leading candidate for MVP so far for them is Mckenna Nelson, who has 11 points through 2 sets, which includes 9 kills and 2 aces. So she has been the name to go to so far for the Cowgirls. And as for Dixie State, there's a handful of players that you could pick from, and so far Lauren Gamble and Meg Trainer lead the way with 8.5 points after 2 sets, and Gamble with 7 kills, Trainer with 5. But Trainer also has 13 assists as well and 3 serving aces. And Lauren Gamble hitting an outstanding 88% from the floor. So has been effective as well as efficient. I'm going to have to double check that Regis score just because I don't think it's 100% accurate. And it looks like it actually might just be starting, so I'm not too sure what the website was saying there, but I'll keep you updated with that one throughout this third and what could be final set. And Gamble trying to feed Gamble first here and is short of the net. So on the board first is the Cowgirls. And out of play is Dixie State, so 2 straight points now for the Cowgirls. And another chance here as Gamble right in the middle nearly gets that one to fall. And Trainer and that one was tipped. I'm going to say it was tipped and out of play, so 3 straight points now. And the Cowgirls playing smart here early on as that was Nelson once again. And so back and forth, and that's Johnson who nearly keeps that one alive, and Dixie State kind of just all over the place right now and getting together in a huddle for some reassurance. So for a double check, Black Hill State and Regis are just about to start. So maybe their page just wasn't updated just yet, but they are about to start. That one was tipped, and 5 straight points now out of the halftime. As Gamble got a hand on it first, and then Faleo just a half second too late, and that serve well beyond the line. And that came from Naranjo. So 5-1 now. And it's going to find Nelson in the middle, and that one was tipped at the net, and Nelson just having her way so far. Hannah Waddell checks in for Faleo. And it's going to finish with Trainer, and Trainer out of play, so 7-1 here. No urgency yet from Coach Felder to take a timeout. And here's Nelson again. A set up Gamble in the middle. Nelson and Nelson, Gamble in the middle again, and this time it's out of play. Gamble just missing the line. So 8-1 here, the Cowgirls out in front. That serve is a line drive in out of play. So a good call from the back row from Dixie State, and a free point for them. And ricocheting off the net that time is Taylor Smyth. So Ferrari now up 9-2. It's going to finish with Johnson, and Johnson looking for that open space. No one in the vicinity. And Johnson just looking for that open space with a finesse that time. And here's Trainer. And short on the return, so a serving ace for Trainer, her 4th of the night. Oviatt going to finish with her, and dangerous chance here again, and it's going to fall. Johnson was there for any kind of deflection, but isn't needed, so Dixie State back within 4. And that one is smacked right behind Trainer, kind of crossed her up a little bit. So here's Gandara now. So another chance here, and kind of back and forth, rolls on the net a little bit, and falls. Syd Johnson now. And tipped. It looks like they're going to give him a blocking error this time. And not too sure how they determined that, but it was on Ekblad. And finish with Faleo, and Faleo throws the hammer down. In no way anybody in the conference is going to stop that, even if the wall is there on time. Trainer going to set up Gamble. And going to finish with Faleo again, and Faleo comes through again with that laser speed. And the Dixie State sideline loving it. And that serve out of play, so a freebie for the Cowgirls, now up by 4. There's Lopez. Going to find Oviatt. Quick attack and out of play. So a point for Dixie State. That was off the hands of Ferrari. And had the right idea right in the middle. Just couldn't find it in play. Bending run, and it's blocked. And they're going to switch up the call, and they're going to say it hit her head on the way out. And it did. Off the head of Maddie Gold, and a good call from the officials, and it looked like it wasn't a proper setup for the Cowgirls. So it looked like it was 4 in the front. So just now a 1-point game. And blocked, but popped back up. And blocked again, but another chance here. And dunking it down is Trainer to tie things up. And a 10-3 run for Dixie State, and we are tied at 12 apiece. And a timeout for Coach Salazar and the Cowgirls. We're going to keep it here this time. And when Dixie State was down 9-2, Coach Felder kept her composure, didn't freak out too early, said the right things, then let her team play and catch up here. And the confidence that has to give the players to not call that early timeout down big and allowing them to play through and to come back, that's having confidence in your team. And that just makes the relationship, it makes you not want to mess up if you're a player. If you have a coach who has that much confidence in you, you almost feel bad for messing up. And Coach Felder getting her team to rally back to tie things up. 12 all here in the third set. And fresh out of the timeout. And here's Jordan Nelson. And popping it up as Trainer, nearly getting that one to fall, but a good recovery. So a golden chance here. Backdoor to Trainer, and Trainer throws it down. And Jordan Nelson having to flick that behind her head. Watch right here. Just boom, flicks it all the way back in perfect position. It is so hard to coach that. That is all natural instincts. And quick attack here in Mckenna Nelson. Just couldn't get the handles on it. And that's been somewhat of Dixie State's kryptonite this year, is those attacks right up the middle. Just a little too late on catching that in time. And fortunately, it hasn't hurt them tonight. And Faleo with the attack error this time. And hit right towards Faleo, and an ace for the Cowgirls. And that would be awarded to Naranjo. And dangerous chance here. And that was off the hands of Ferris, and they're going to say it was an attacking error on the Cowgirls. They're going to say she hit the net. Is Ferrari. And an ace for Dixie State to tie things up. So here's Faleo, and Faleo again to regain the lead. So Nelson's right there. And it's going to finish with Johnson. Tipped. And it's going to finish with Trainer. And into the crowd. Meg Trainer. And a good setup play for Trainer. And it nearly gets that one to stay in play. And that one's short from Willis. And 18-15 now the score. Dixie State regained the momentum and are looking to finish this one strong. And quick attack from Ferrari. Dixie State just wasn't ready for this one. Right in the middle, and for just a second, Faleo might have thought that that one was out of play. So Cameron Nelson. Gamble right in the middle, and that one is gonna fall. I believe it was tipped off the front wall, and then a second player got a hand on it, and that one just went way out of play. So 19-16 now. And a short serve. And that one's short again, and Keegan Lopez. And a timeout for the Cowgirls, and we're going to take one as well. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. 20-16 here in the third set. You're watching Trailblazer Volleyball.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel, someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me.
here in the third, and what could be final set. Dixie State up 20-16 and lead 2-0. Cowgirls making some final words of encouragement to see if they can come up with anything to slow down the power that Dixie has brought so far here tonight. And officials back in place and ready to go. And kind of punches that one in there, but a good return, and Trainer finishes that one off. And that was not possible if Mckenna Nelson didn't get down there and keep that one up. And that one well beyond the line. Keegan Lopez. Keegan Lopez again. And Johnson. And Johnson finds the inside of the line. So here's Nelson. Chance here. And they're going to say setting error on Faleo. And Waddell checks in for Faleo. And here's Ferrari. And blocked. But that one is going to fall. 24-17. Game point here inside the Student Activity Center. Can the Trailblazers bring out the brooms? And blocked, and it's going to be on hold for just a second. Mckenna Nelson coming in from the back row, getting a hand on it. And just a little too short. So here's Gandara. And big swing from Ekblad, and Ekblad is gonna finish this one off here tonight. 25-18 and a clean 3-game sweep for Dixie State. 25-20, 25-15, and 25-18 are the final scores here tonight. And Dixie State now goes to 16-6 overall and 11-3 in RMAC play. And as for the Cowgirls, they fall to 1-21 on the season and still winless at 0-14 in the conference. If you couldn't make it out to tonight's game, don't worry. We got one more tomorrow night. Senior night against Colorado State Pueblo. 6 p.m. right here inside the Student Activity Center. And I know this place will be rocking. I remember last year's senior night, and man, oh man, was that intense. So for your game MVP from Dixie State, Toa Faleo leading the way with 10.5 points with 7 kills, and did add 2 aces as well. And she gets the game ball tonight over New Mexico Highlands. Once again, 25-20, 25-15, and 25-18 are the final scores here tonight. Dixie State winning their 4th game in a row going into senior night. For myself, James Guerin, and everyone else here at CEC TV, we thank you guys for making us a part of your Friday evening, and we'll see you guys right here tomorrow night. Have a good night, guys. Aloha.